The end is nigh. There are two paths. You must choose one. There is no indifference anymore. Option one: God, righteousness, justice, goodness, decency, fairness, the law. Option two: the devil, the Antichrist, Armageddon, the apocalypse. Choose now. Congratulations, you have chosen the apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide. Nicholas, so good to see you again. It appears we have a case of a Nazi calling others a Nazi. Inversion of reality. Leon Scum, to be exact. The Nazi salute guy. He's the one throwing the N-word around. When he is the N-word, isn't he, class? Of bloody course he is. Let us begin. Ron Filipkowski. First thing I saw today. Every right-wing oligarch, podcaster, hack Russian apologist, paid influencer, and bot has been activated in a coordinated manner to attack Europe after the EU fined Musk. Yep, now it's a vendetta against the EU, but there always was one, son. That's why the EU is taking some action now. Liberal democracy has always been the enemy of fascism. Hitler saw it that way. That's why he locked up the liberals first, despite what you hear on right-wing and oligarch podcast land. Dumbass. These are Nazis just like the Nazis in the 30s. It's their religion. It's what they believe. So what is the enemy to their fascist Nazi agenda that they've laid out before us? Liberal democracy. Where's the last bit of liberal democracy? The EU. Vlad's been wanting the EU to go away for a long time because Vlad thinks he's Adolf Hitler as well and wants to steamroll Europe at some point. He'll never get that chance. And it becomes more evident every day that America is aligned with Russia. We are the bad guys now. The European Union is all that's left. So again, I implore you, shut X down. Do you believe, class, what I'm about to tell you? The Reich is about to draw up a bill where other countries are not allowed to ban the social media of America. Can you believe it? They mentioned Brazil specifically. I was just talking about this yesterday. That's how you get them. That's why they're going to write this shit up and expect other countries to follow it. They won't follow it. They will get fucked with by the Reich. The fact that they're even drawing that up gives the whole game away. What the game has always been for the past 20 fucking years. You should have cut Russia off a long time ago, all you social media companies, instead of taking the goddamn money and putting it in your fucking pocket at the demise of us all and yourselves, assholes. I promise you that. And again, I'm way smarter than you. I ain't on coke, son. And I ain't looking for tax cuts for my portfolio. To the point it blinds me to everything else, even the apocalypse, even the spiritual realm, even America. All gone for you. All gone for us all. Liberal democracy. Again, it's why Adolf locked up the liberals first. It's why Vlad wants to steamroll Europe. It's why America was the focus and now has fallen. The EU is all that's left. Leon and the Reich, before it was even a Reich, have always wanted to do away with the EU. They've been complaining about him inciting violence for years. So again, the EU, my message to you, it's the only thing that works. And how do I know that? Well, they're about to draw up legislation that says you can't do it. Which means it's their biggest fear. Vlad won't have access to your people. Leon, scum, the special K fuckface, won't have access to your people. His website becomes goddamn worthless. Vlad's propaganda efforts that he spent millions on, stole 100 million from Google for. Worthless if you shut it the fuck down. It's the only path. I hope you take the advice. Because I know things that you don't, son. Leaders of countries, you can't even fathom what I know. And I saw it coming before you, son. Most of you still don't know what it is. Yet you're so enlightened, you're in charge, you have so much power. Yet you don't see it coming. People like Barack Obama, I can tell you don't know what this is, son. Joe Biden even, I can tell, don't know what this is. In fact, I can't think of too many at the top levels of power that even grasp what's going on right now. For instance, I knew you all would be arrested 10 years ago. Mr. Obama, Hillary, all you people. It's what Hitler did, son. And Hitler was of Satan. There was that occult, satanic aspect to the Reich. Huge part of it. Huge part of this one, too. I won't cite the ways. You'll just forget in 5 minutes anyway. They coming for all you people. They always were. That was always the plan. He ran on lock her up the first term, bringing cases of you all, against you all one at a time. That facade will drop further, and he's just going to flat out arrest you motherfuckers. They making the list right now for the rest of us. They had the list for you a long time ago. That's what baffles me the most, how such enlightened people that went to Harvard and Yale and studied all different things and reached the top of society, they didn't see this coming. This story is known, son. They make documentaries about it. How did you people not see this coming? EU, shut it the fuck down. They terrified of that. Hitler started by ordering security services to compile lists of so-called political extremists. Well, they've been compiling lists since day one. What do you think Doge was doing, getting all your information? Doge has it. Vlad has it. Leon has it. Donnie has it. Pam has it. Your social media will show what side of this you're on. That will put you on a list. A lot of right-wing machine people have been making lists for years. Every now and then, I'd get a notification, and I'm nobody, son. You've been added to a list. What do you think those lists were for? I knew exactly what they were for. I saw the attitude by Americans. How dare you speak against your leader during the first term? They acted like it was a capital crime or something. I knew it was over then. This country, I mean. And I realized over this 10 years how many of you would be fine with fascism and persecution of others as long as it was your fascist in charge. You have that attitude, you are lake fodder, nothing more. You never lived. You were dead before you were born. Lest you change your attitude. Don't matter if you believe it, irrelevant. Pam Bondi's ordering the FBI to compile a list of Americans who may be extremists per signed memo, and we know what the Reich looks at as extremists. Anyone who doesn't like dictatorship. Speaking against fascism is illegal now. Just like Adolf did. So these lists, I mean, again, I said this in the beginning when Doge first started and they took over, that all this was going to happen. And any Reich, of course, they're going to make lists of people they want to arrest one day when they drop the facade, like Hitler did. Mass arrests. All the things Alex Jones and the right-wing machine said the liberals were going to do. But son, it was you the whole time and Alex. And Alex knew that. He's been a white supremacist the whole time. That's all his show ever was. Anti-Jew, anti-ethnicity, white supremacy, Nazism. How do I know Alex is a Nazi? Well, Alex did a social experiment where he wore the same mustache that Hitler had. After doing a right-wing nationalist, white supremacist podcast for a few decades. I know, Rubes. It was just a social experiment. Right. My point is, it was you the whole time. You were the fascists. You were of Satan. Now you are the hand of Satan. It wasn't the liberals. It was you. In 1939 Germany, it was you. Wasn't the liberals. Lists will be made. There will be arrests. I told you this. I told you Adolf Hitler arrested the liberals. Dissent was not allowed. In a dictatorship, dissent is not allowed. Free press is not allowed. They've gotten rid of the free press at the Pentagon. It's all right-wing hack podcasters and people like that now. No one of credibility. I will never pay attention to one thing they say. They've already done that. Where do you think this is going, son? Liberals will be arrested. People they say are Antifa, which doesn't fucking exist, will be arrested. People like me will be arrested. Enjoy the videos now. They will go away. All AI will be Reich-approved AI. It will be very bad. There won't be nothing pretty about it, and it will be the most evil thing probably since the beginning of time. They're mass murdering people in boats every day for fun. They laugh about it, except when the Hague is brought up. Then no one wants to take credit. Concentration camps and torture, verified. Mass goons kidnapping people, verified. Gassing neighborhoods. Assaulting people that film them. Military, your own, that you pay for on your streets. What more do you need to see, son? Lists are being made. The facade will drop further. Anonymous, when a billionaire with major government contracts and ties to authoritarian governments calls to abolish the EU, it is not an ordinary political opinion. Indeed, that's why you need to shut it down. Oh, abolish the EU? You don't like the EU? Okay, the EU will just shut your whole shit down. You don't have to be a part of it. If you were smart, EU, do it. It is a foreign state actor hostile to European democracy, pushing terrorist rhetoric and destabilizing regional security. Especially when he sends a few trillion bots and trolls to co-sign everything he says and incite violence and gin up the population. Like he did here. The Jesus people, they ate it up. Vlad's agenda against them so their kids would starve. That's what fascinates me about you. So many of you MAGA, I've gotten in some really heated kind of arguments with certain people in my personal life. Had to let them know what reality is. Jewish people specifically. You voted for fucking Nazis. Do you realize that? Not pretend Nazis. I'm not comparing them to Nazis. They're goddamn Nazis. So what did you vote for? Your people to be gassed, your family to be gassed and executed. Do you know what level of stupid I have you categorized in my mind? I almost despise you. Because you voted for your own family to be gassed. One Jewish man I knew, he said, yeah, I know he's Hitler, but the rest of the statement doesn't matter. He voted for his family to be gassed. Son, do you goddamn hear me? Do you know what level of stubbornness, brainwashing, stupidity it takes to do that? That's just one example. I could go on all night. Farmers voted for their own bankruptcy, farms that have been in their families for generations. Many of them have committed suicide just in the second term, son, let alone the first. And they already saw it happen in the first. The brainwashing, the stubbornness, the ignorance is so deep, so ingrained in their every atom. They voted for bankruptcy for the family farm. Again, do you know what category of stupid I have you in my mind? I almost despise you. What's a shame is your stupidity will cost us all everything. Even those of us that were smart enough, decent enough, moral enough to never go along with this bullshit or turn away at some point. For it's naught but the devil's son. Every bit of it. There ain't one good thing. So yeah, a billionaire who owns Twitter, who's helped to stabilize various nations, the entire nation of America. When he says things like what he's been saying about the EU, it's much different than you or I saying it. It causes real damage. It incites mass violence. It's very dangerous. If he wants to use his website for this, I suggest you shut it down. Like in Russia, they shut it down. In China, they shut it down. Maybe you should follow suit. Breaking: Bondi orders FBI to compile a list of Americans who may be extremists Let's hear what they consider extremists. Bondi, the Nazi bitch, is ordering the FBI to compile a list. Groups or enemies or entities engaging in acts that may constitute domestic terrorism. You mean like staging coups against the Capitol? Stuff like that. Your mass goons that you have terrorizing various neighborhoods and U.S. citizens and illegals? That kind of terrorism? No. That's Jesus-y, right? That's righteousness, right? That's why your country's over, son. The target is those expressing opposition to law and immigration enforcement. You mean the Gestapo, the terrorist organization you've deployed against us, that are kidnapping people with masks on? In favor of mass immigration and open borders. When the fuck have we had an open border? When are you raiding Mar-a-Lago? I notice you don't raid Donnie's properties. Because Donnie needs his illegals, right? Hypocrites, liars, lake fodder. In other words, if you speak negative about fascism, speak negative about the dictator, speak negative about the Gestapo, you're on a list. Congrats, Rubes. Hope you didn't need those Mexican farm workers. And adherence to radical gender ideology, so that means gays and transgender. You're going on a list too. Well, Hitler, executed those people, put them in camps. Except, high-level Nazis that were gay. As well as anti-Americanism. Well, anything could be that. Any critique of America, the Reich, anything. Pretty vague, huh, Rubes? Don't get mad and start talking shit that you lost your job because of Donnie or something. Anti-capitalism. What we have right now ain't capitalism. It's the Reich stealing everything and their buddies stealing everything and you losing the farm. That's what we have right now. And JD, the company he's invested in, buying your farm for pennies on the dollar. And anti-Christianity, says the party of the Antichrist, says the Reich, who are Nazis. They are the protectors of Christianity now. Everything's inverted. The real Christians will be persecuted and killed. They are already. Straight inversion of reality. Those who claim to be the defender of Judaism and Christianity are its greatest enemy. And that's not the slightest exaggeration. What do you think the mark's for, son? The devil been waiting a long time to unveil that. You know why? Because it separates me from you, you from me. And all is revealed, and you can't hide anymore. Every person that says no to the mark, you are now a child of God, whether you even understand that concept. And you will be treated as such by the man and by the Reich. I've told you this before. The mark separates the wheat from the chaff. You might die for making your decision not to take it. You most likely will. Because that's the point of it. To point out the real Christians, the real children of God. Everyone who takes it, they were never here. They were never born. I assume most will take it. Because again, this is what we do. We got to survive, right? Got to keep the thing rolling, right? More important than anything, right? Fuck everybody over to do it. Whatever we got to do. Because that's life. That's what I would hear from 9 out of 10 of you. From the beginning of time to now. because that's all you know. That's a shame. This is a pretty vague list that could be pretty much applied to anyone. Do you understand that? Your social media will be one thing that is looked at. It probably already was. That will identify a lot of people to be put on lists. Because, again, the facade's going to drop, and they're going to have to arrest a lot of people and lock them up and maybe execute them too. When the mark comes and you say, no, now you've revealed to the whole world that you're a child of God. You are the enemy of Satan and the Antichrist and the Reich. No matter where you live, what country, it doesn't matter. It's a worldwide, global thing. You will have nowhere to hide. Very serious. And you will be revealed, and that's the entirety of the point of the mark. Oh, why are you saying no? What? You're of God? You're not of Satan? Then you die. That's most likely how it will go. Be prepared. Then again, I'm not God, but from the story, if you turn down the mark, it doesn't sound good. If you take the mark, my God, the plagues that come against you. And then the lake at the end. This is an American neighborhood being gassed by the Gestapo. I watched the video. I'm sure you can see the cloud. This is America now. Masked, worthless cunts destined for the lake, gassing entire neighborhoods. Wasn't the use of tear gas outlawed in Illinois? On another note, way to go. It feels so refreshing to see the burbs showing up like this. Yes, a lot of people came out and were yelling. Most places the Gestapo goes now, a crowd builds and they're yelling, telling people not to open their doors and stuff like that. It's fucking bad. And that's what they're intended to do. Go out to the population, incite violence. I'm amazed. I'm amazed that they haven't provoked someone to do something yet. I'm rather impressed with the population so far. The only one that attacked the military was a CIA patsy that literally worked for the CIA, so that tells me all I need to know. The real American population, though, I'm rather impressed with you. Because the whole point of these mass cunts being out there is so you will attack them. Same thing that Hitler did with the brown shirts. That's what they're waiting for. They'll fake it at some point. Probably, kind of like the CIA patsy that shot that guardsman, 2 guardsmen. Traitors to our nation. But again, I don't have sympathy for the traitors that got shot. I don't have sympathy for the CIA patsy that shot them. Whole neighborhood full of gas. If you were wondering what 1984, what America would look like, dystopian nightmare, right here, baby. Right there. That's a neighborhood. There's no riot there. So mass goons can kidnap people, get their little $1,000 a body. You realize the mask will come off. Someone was filming two people, two ICE agents in a car. I posted the footage, some of you saw it. And they knew the guy's name with the mask on. And they said it. The guy almost had a stroke. That's their worst nightmare. You seeing them with the mask off because they know what they're doing is wrong. They don't want their neighbors to spit in their face. They don't want their kids to be ostracized at school because they're a traitor who's kidnapping people off the street in a mask. So I understand why you don't want people to see it. Plenty of other law enforcement, FBI, they go all over the place with no mask, so don't tell me it's for your protection, cunt. Coward. Bitch. Because I see men in police uniforms and women, men in FBI and women, and they don't wear masks. And you know, the public might not like them because they're in law enforcement and they lock people up. How come they can risk their safety, risk their life, show their face, but you can't? Oh, because you're of Satan. You're of the Reich. You're a worthless Gestapo cunt in a mask kidnapping people, and you know it, and you know your neighbors would spit in your goddamn face, and they'd tell your kids to fuck off. Which is what you and your family would deserve, son. That's why you wear the mask. You're the threat to society. You're the one with the goddamn machine gun and no training and out of shape, fat as fuck, with a mask on, trying to kidnap people for money. You're the threat. You're the enemy. Not the people in the neighborhood. In other words, they should be afraid of you, and they are. But son, the mask will come off. We will all know your names. Lakeside. What are you going to do then? When you can't hide behind the mask? God, it's going to be really sad for you. I won't have any pity for you, but it will be very sad for you. Glorious for the rest of us. Where justice will have been done. And that's part of the story too, son. When the numbers are fulfilled, excuse me, then justice is done, son. That means you. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. In fact, since I took a break, give me another moment while I smoke. Yeah, I'm that kind of asshole. I'm going to make you wait while I smoke a cigarette. I'm sure you'll all be waiting with bated breath. I'm sure the counter will say like 150 when I get back. No, it'll say -5 actually. Okay, I'm back. Sure, all two of you are very thrilled. All five of you, excuse me. It's big time. I'm big time. Okay, one more time. Let's take one more look at the new America. Tear gas America. You ever think you'd see that? Regular old cars, regular old neighborhood. Mass cunts deploying tear gas. When the neighborhood comes out and says, hey, can you just not kidnap people and terrorize our community with your mask and machine gun? Is that too much to ask, you fat cunt? I guess it must be. I know so many of you had no real talent in life. You couldn't make it in law enforcement. You're an absolute joke. You've always been. So why not take a few G's a day to kidnap people with a mask on? No one's going to know it's you, right? Well, somebody knew it was Kevin's son. And when Kevin realized that person with the camera knew their name, he almost shit his pants, son. Don't worry, though. We like to talk about lists. The man is making a list. Your name's on it. And he's checking it twice, too. Let's move on to this. This is... And I forgot to include the Nazi salute with Leon. I'm sure it's in this iPad. God knows how many pictures back. Maybe I'll find it real quick. Leon, the Nazi salute guy, actually had the nerve to repost this. And again, everything's inversion of reality. Straight flipping it. Not exaggeration, not spin. Flipping it. The Nazi calling others Nazis. Leon reposted this. The EU flag, and underneath is the swastika. And a person named Alicia Smith calls it the Fourth Reich, calling the EU the Fourth Reich. I wonder if Alicia Smith even exists. She got the blue check that all the bots have. And Leon says pretty much. The Nazi salute guy saying the EU are Nazis, when Vlad is the Nazi who wants to destroy the EU. And Leon's the literal Nazi salute guy who wants to destroy the last liberal democratic area of the world. So it can be a world Reich, like Hitler dreamt of. And you know what? I think I'll take the time for all three, and I'll find the Nazi salute picture. Let's look real quick. I'm sure it'll stand out. There it is. I knew it wouldn't take long. This guy says the EU are a bunch of Nazis. That guy. Inversion of reality. The actual Nazi who did a Nazi salute in the year of our Lord 2025 in front of the whole fucking world. Sincerely dares call someone else a Nazi. Doesn't talk about Russia has X banned. Doesn't talk about China who has X banned, therefore he's in league with them. Talking about the one major area besides America and Canada that actually allow him his propaganda and bot deployment. He's calling them Nazis after he did a Nazi salute in front of the whole fucking world. You cannot make this shit up, boy. The Nazi salute guy calling other people Nazis because they dared fine him. Shut it down, EU, before it's too late. You see this? This ain't a joke. This is where it's all going. It's been there. You got concentration camps, son. Europe don't know what this is. They should know. They got blitzkrieged by it. What do you think Vlad wants to do to you? What do you think Donnie's doing in this side of the world? Blitzkrieg. The Fisherman is just the beginning. 90 bodies so far. Do something EU before it's too late. Again, we don't have that many years left, and people in the EU that run that, I know you'll never see this, but if you did, I understand aspects of this that you don't, even though you're the leaders of the free world now. Take it seriously. Oh shit, I gotta move back to where we were. I'm like weeks back here. All right, where were we at? Okay, the EU flag. Let's move on to Tom Cotton again. And I knew Tom Cotton was familiar to me for a reason. Tom lied about being an Army Ranger. Tom went to the school. He was in the military. He was deployed to a few places. He went to the 2-month school to be an Army Ranger. He was never deployed as an Army Ranger. And he lied about it. It's not full stolen valor, but it's kind of partial. And I remembered that scandal about him. Someone made a quick comment about it, and I looked it up again to really get the details. That's a very low thing to do in any way, shape, or form, even slightly. To exaggerate your military credentials or lie about them completely. People go through hell in boot camp and deployment and whatever to gain whatever rank, whatever respect in the military they can. So when you have cunts like Tom Cotton lying and adding to their military service or making it up, it's an insult to all the other people in the military. Me personally never have been in the military. I would never for 1 second insinuate that I have some military credential that doesn't exist, because I understand what a goddamn insult that is to real military men and women. Utterly insulting after what they went through for you to lie about it and say you went through it too. So that's Tom Cotton for you. Well, I went to Ranger school. That's great, Tom. I'm impressed. And it says he passed. Sure, Tom. I'm sure they didn't just rubber stamp you because you came from a certain family, Tom. It's written all fucking over you. Hegseth, too. People quote Hegseth military record. He's a rich kid Princeton man. Do you think he ever saw any real danger? Get the fuck out of here. He was a coddled rich kid. His military service is a goddamn joke. You know how I know that? He can only do 1.5 pull-ups. That's called a motherfucker who's faking the funk. Because I, who have never been in the military, older than Pete Hegseth, in way worse shape, eating way worse food, no exercise, just from my prior weightlifting days, and just from the fact I kept my weight down and didn't turn into a fat ass in my old age, I could do more pull-ups than Pete Hegseth, the military man who's younger than me, who doesn't smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Do you hear me? I'd bet my life on it. No way in hell you're going to see me, lest I 80 years old, can only do 1.5 pull-ups in my worst shape. And Pete ain't even that fat. He's got a little bit of extra on him, but to be able to only do 1.5, that tells me you're no military man at all. There are generals at probably 60 years old that could do more pull-ups because they were real military men at some point. Pete obviously was never. Yeah, he put the vests on and carried the guns and cosplayed because he came from a certain family. He came from Princeton. Those kind of dudes, they don't get put in the shit and everybody knows it. How do I know? Again, 1.5 pull-ups. That's all I need to know about you, son. So Tom Cotton, again, obviously, again, Tom got the assignment. He was on the Saturday shows. He was on the Friday shows. Now he's on the Sunday shows. Tom got the job. The guy who lied about his military service. You're talking about the president protecting Arkansas from drugs, and yet he pardoned the former president of Honduras who trafficked more than 500 tons of cocaine into the U.S. How does that make America safer? Tom Cotton. Well, I haven't spoken to the president about that pardon. I have to know more about the circumstances. That's the new line from Mike Johnson and the Reich now. We don't know. We don't know enough. I wasn't briefed on that. Tom knows exactly how utterly backward it is to pardon major drug traffickers while saying we're killing drug traffickers and protecting Americans down in the Caribbean. Because Donnie's grifting. Selling pardons like hotcakes, 1,500 plus. Tom knows exactly the details about the drug trafficker who brought 500 tons of cocaine that Donnie took money from and gave a pardon to. What did Tom say? What lie did he tell? I have to know more about the circumstance. No, you don't, Tom. You know all you need to know. And you're doing your job, but you're doing a miserable job. Every word out of Tom Cotton's mouth made the Reich look 10 times worse for the past 3 days. Not good. Pick somebody else next time, Donnie. Welker, never mind, that's the same comment. Donnie put this out, letting us all know that the pardon of that Democrat, I don't know what he was, a congressman or whatever, was quid pro quo for the congressman changing parties. Obviously, the congressman promised to change parties during the phone call, whatever, backroom deal. Donnie expected him to change. The guy didn't change. He reneged. Now Donnie looks stupid. Donnie letting us know that this pardon deal was a straight quid pro quo. He can't help himself. Can you imagine the Democrats under crooked Joe Biden, who always use extreme force and jail time to destroy the political opponent, wanted to put Congressman Henry Cuellar and his wife Imelda in prison for 15 years, which I predicted these radical left lunatics would do, and they never stopped wanting to fulfill this evil quest. The Dems mercilessly went after Henry with everything they had. They were looking to destroy him, his lovely wife, his 2 young daughters, and anyone close to them. When the Democrats overwhelmingly lost in the 2024 election, and power with it, they, regardless, did everything they could to keep... Shit. Lost my place. It's a goddamn thesis. Did everything they could to keep going after the Cuellar family. The Dems were vicious and all because Henry strongly wanted to correctly... What? Because Henry strongly wanted correctly... God damn it. Border security in all caps. He was against illegals pouring it. God, can he just get to the fucking point? Totally unchecked. Blah, blah. Except don't notice my illegals that work for my businesses. The congressman didn't want gang members, drug dealers, violent prisoners, but Donnie did. He has illegals working at his businesses right now, and while he was president last time. You fucking marks. From mental institutions, and yes, even murderers, and like Donnie, mass murder, it was all very unfair to him and his family, so much that his daughters wrote me a beautiful letter about their parents just posted on Truth. After reading it, I decided, Jesus Christ, that I would give Henry and his wife the pardon. I never spoke to him and his wife, sure, Donnie, or his daughter, sure, Donnie, but felt very good. He was tormented by very sick, deranged people. They were, Jesus Christ, they were treated so badly. I signed the papers, said to people in the Oval Office that I just did a very good, perhaps life-saving thing. God was very happy with me that day. Then it happened. Only a short time after signing the pardon, Cuellar announced that he will be running for Congress again in the great state of Texas, a state where I received the I hate you for the fact that I have to read this. And who I'm talking to is the goddamn rube and the greedy cunt that made this happen. Fuck you. As a Democrat continuing to work with the same radical left, I'm going to stop there. I had to read a whole thesis just for him to say he reneged on the quid pro quo, on the bribe for the pardon. I hate you. Oh my God, will you look at this? I read almost to the end. This is why I hate you. Reason number 1,000,000. What does it say? Hate what God hates? I'm trying, son. Took me a while to get to certain points. Hate what God hates. Okay. The Pentagon's Law of War Manual says orders to fire on the shipwreck would be clearly illegal. Given that, how was that follow-up strike on the two survivors legal? Tom Cotton. They were not incapacitated. They were sitting or standing on top of a capsized boat. Well, where would you like them, Tom? At the bottom of the sea? Yeah, that's exactly where Tom would like them. What would Tom do if he was floating in the open ocean after his boat was blown up by a Reich? He'd crawl on top of the boat and try and save his worthless life, wouldn't he? Yet somehow this is nefarious, according to fake-ass I'm a Ranger Tom Cotton. They were sitting on a capsized... Oh my God, we got to kill him now, huh? The man will not be pleased. Again with Tom Cotton. The U.S. doesn't shoot people at the border who are bringing drugs in. Why should it be different at sea? Are you saying we should start shooting people at the border? No, I'm not, Kristen. Tom's just saying we can kill people at sea. That's no big deal. Shooting them at the border, that's going too far. Again with Tom. Pulling the classic Republican/Reich move. If you don't like the question, if it just points out the abject criminality and evil of the Reich and yourself, you just say, that didn't come up in my briefing. You're saying this boat was a threat to the U.S., yet NBC is reporting that Admiral Bradley told lawmakers the drugs were heading first to Suriname, then ultimately to Europe or Africa. How is a boat that's not heading to the U.S. an imminent threat to this country? Tom, that's one possibility. These drug cartels, which are designated foreign terrorist organizations, are trafficking drugs to our shores. Tom, she just said the boat wasn't coming to our shores. Yet Tom talks about boats coming to our shores. Just running with the lie, right through the wall. The wall of reality, the wall of truth. Is there any hard evidence that shows this particular boat was headed to the U.S.? That didn't come up in my briefing. Oh, it did come up, Tom. And you know it. No chance of that boat ever making it to the U.S., and everyone knows it. Again, the story was we're saving American lives here by murdering these people. Then we find out most of the boats ain't even coming here. If not all of them. Tom doesn't do a good job with this shit. Okay, this is the guy that Donnie made the deal with. I guess Cuellar said, here's my bribe, Donnie. I'll run as a Republican. I'll follow your agenda down in Texas. Donnie straight up just told us there was a deal made, a bribe was offered, and now he's reneging. So this is what the guy said. I guess this is what caused Donnie to flip out. He's on Fox News. Bartiromo. Have you considered switching parties? Cuellar. Look, I'm a Democrat. Bartiromo. Okay, but Trump is out with a new Truth Social saying next time no more Mr. Nice Guy. She's threatening him. She's letting him know Donnie's threatening him. Cuellar. I was at church this morning praying for the president. Donnie ain't gonna forget this. This guy made a deal with the devil and then he reneged. The devil don't like that, boy. This guy better watch his back. The Reich will be after his ass. This took balls to do, too. You straight up bribe him. It's the only reason Donnie gave him the pardon. Donnie wrote a thesis letting us know that he wants him to run as a Republican in Texas, and the guy, said no. He actually didn't say no. That's not what Donnie said. He said he just went on the air and said he's a Democrat. And it's amazing. Donnie just writes his crimes out, commits his crimes on camera, and everyone just goes about their business as if they weren't crimes. Because he does it in public. Just because it's public doesn't mean it's not a crime. Unbelievable. This is insane. This guy better be real careful. The Reich will be coming for him. This is Representative Jim Himes. This is what he looks like. And I like what he said. Pete Hegseth has no credibility on this matter. A week after the strike, there was a briefing for Congress. Why was a follow-up strike taken? The answer then in the first week of September was a follow-up strike was taken because we needed to clear the wreckage so there wasn't a danger to navigation. That was explanation number one. Number two, right before we watched the video, was they might have had a radio and they might have been radioing a boat and they might have been trying to recover the cocaine. Yeah, a capsized on fire boat that was hit with a missile. Then when you watch the video, you realize they don't have a radio. They're barely hanging on, not slipping beneath the waves. Then we get this thing on how they are trying to right the boat. This was a 40-foot boat that had been hit with a massive piece of munitions. It probably destroyed everything in the boat. Probably. Oh, but maybe they might have swum under, gotten a radio, probably waterlogged. No, there's no swimming under and talking on the radio. Get the fuck. This ain't Baywatch, motherfucker. No, he's mocking the Reich. I'm not talking to him. And radio to boat, we're not even sure what is there. What we've had are a series of shifting expectations, including the fog of war. Not shifting expectations, shifting narratives, lies. That's the mark of a liar if the story keeps changing. Most obvious mark of a liar. Hegseth said they took second strike because of the fog of war. There was no fog. The military watches boat very carefully. I shouldn't say boat. They watched the wreckage of the boat very carefully for a long period of time before they took a second strike. Yes, 41 minutes. They watched these two men try and save their lives. And then they said, let's kill them now that they've saved their lives for a few minutes. And Pete's pretending he wasn't in the room when that happened. And I know he was. Pete convinced me of that. Donnie wrote that that was done on his orders that day. They're mass murderers, I'm sorry. And the story has changed 19 times. That tells me all I need to know. True mark of any liar. When the story keeps changing. Ilhan Omar on Face the Nation or something. I know how you people love Ilhan. When I think about Stephen Miller and his white supremacist rhetoric, it reminds me of the way the Nazis described Jewish people in Germany. Well, Stephen just happens to be a Nazi. No wonder it reminds us all of that. All of us with decency and a conscience, anyway. The rest of you, I don't know. Again, these are literal Nazis. This is a literal Reich. If the concentration camps don't convince you and the mass goons, I don't know what will. And again, Jews out there, I must ask, why'd you vote to have your family gassed? That's what you did. You understand that, right? Only way to interpret your actions. I'm sorry. I didn't want you to do it. Dana Bash with the misery that is Tom Homan. And always remember when Tom Homan is on TV trying to sound righteous and godly and like the law, Tom goes in back alleys and takes big fat bags of cash as bribes. It's on tape. Guaranteed. Verified. Criminal. Fucking criminal. Are agents stopping people because they look Somali? No, they're not. You can detain and question people based on reasonable suspicion. Yes, they are. Again, a year before the election, Mr. Cortez, I told all you people that were so in favor of this, you realize the only way to go arrest people is racial profiling, right, asshole? He didn't see it that way. Now, the Somalis and all the Latin people of this nation are learning the fucking hard way that you were never on the team. It's sad that you ever thought you were. Is that based on how they look? No, their appearance alone can't raise reasonable suspicion. Tom's only saying that because a court told him that if he continues to racially profile, they're going to lock his fat ass up. Do you remember that? I presented it to you because Tom was on these same news broadcasts before the judge threatened to lock his fat fucking ass up, saying, yeah, we can just use racial profiling, no problem. What's the problem? The problem is racial profiling is illegal in this nation. At least it used to be. Now it's preached and people put masks on and kidnap people of darker skin complexion. So that's the only reason Tom is saying that. Because the judge said, Tom, if you continue to racially profile, I'm going to lock your fat ass up. And again, I want to remind you, the misery that is Tom Homan takes fat bags of cash as bribes, and it's on tape. And I'll say it to his lawyer, and I'll say it to his fat fucking ham hock face. This is a guy, I believe he's a senator, called Schmidt. And again, typical right-wing grift machine tactics. When someone points out the abject evil that's indefensible, let's just go on the attack like Donnie taught us. Stephanopoulos. Oh, here's what that cunt looks like. Raging cunt. With a yeast infection. I'm not familiar with... excuse me. Do you support this pardon of the former Honduran president? Stephanopoulos is asking him that question. They asked Tom Cotton, the Army Ranger. Same question. Schmidt, I'm not familiar with the facts or circumstances. Isn't that what Cotton said too? I need to learn more about it. God, you people are such disingenuous cunt liars. That's why America's over. You allowed this. You said amen. You preached it. You're on board. When you become a sky is purple person, and there's enough of you, the empire is over. Because of you. I'm not familiar with the facts or circumstances. Yes, you are, Senator. Everyone is. Stephanopoulos, what do you mean you're not familiar with the facts? It's been front page news. Schmidt, you spew Democrat talking points. What, the fact that the dude brought in 500 tons of cocaine, that's a liberal talking point now? Oh, you mean the truth? Oh, okay. Which is probably why your ratings are so bad. So right to the attack. And there was more said. Let me give you the context. I should have only read this one. Again, do you support the pardon of the former Honduran president? Senator Eric Schmidt. I'm not familiar with the facts and circumstances. That's a flat out lie, and we all know. What do you mean you're not familiar with the facts and circumstances of the pardon? It's been reported all across the country. The former president of Honduras was convicted of bringing 400 tons of cocaine in the U.S., also guns and other materials. It's been front page news across the country. Aren't you curious about that? What's wrong with a reporter saying that to someone? Schmidt, I'm curious about your pushback on that particular point. With your previous guest, you had zero pushback because he's giving the Democrat talking points. Or maybe he's stating reality and there doesn't need to be any pushback. Could that be? Roops? Could that be why your country's over? Because you preached the lies. You took the talking points. You didn't refute them. You became the sky is purple person. Like you spew every week, which is probably why your ratings are so bad. Why can't you just answer the question, man? It's always deflect away to something else with you people. Again, that's why your country's over. Because the idiots that got you to do what they wanted you to do, they're Nazis. And they despise you. You're peasant nothings. And the rich are just marks for them to steal money from, which they've done. Amazing. These are the people they're supposed to, they want respect from the population, from the little childrens, from all of us, as if they're professionals, as if they're successes in life. When a simple question is, why did your Fuhrer pardon a fucking drug trafficker, and why is he murdering them down in the Caribbean? What do you think about that, sir? Well, I don't know about it. Well, here's the details. What do you think about it? You're an evil liberal spouting Democrat talking points. That's why your country's over, son. Right there. Over, kaput, never coming back. It will get worse every day. Because of you. Because of Mr. Schmidt. Worthless, all of you, and Mr. Schmidt. Lest you turn away, then you become worth something. To the man. Again with Tom Cotton. Isn't it possible that even the act of taking off a t-shirt could have been part of an attempt to get attention for help? Tom Cotton. Or it could have been an attempt to signal to another cartel boat to come pick them up and pick up the cargo. Waving a t-shirt at the planes that just blew up your boat. Or the drones. That's somehow interpreted as possibly getting help from the cartel. Wow. That's what selling your soul looks like. It won't go well for Tom Lakeside. I wonder how this whole Tom Cotton mass murder apologist job happened. Did Tom volunteer? Was he picked? He might have volunteered. I got another comment by Tom that you need to hear. The man definitely heard it. Tom had a Freudian slip because we're in that same era we were in with George Bush Jr. in this regard. Stealing other people's resources, invasion, war, murder. I think President Bush has every power under the Constitution to strike boats in international waters. Tom is telling the same lies he was telling back in the Bush years. That's why this Freudian slip happened right here. Take a look at Tom, the Army Ranger. So used to just robotically lying. He has a Freudian slip back to the lies he told about George Bush when that was going on. You people are incredible. You're God's special little children. Oh, this is Tom Homan again. Bash. Dana Bash is asking, if ICE says it doesn't arrest U.S. citizens, why do we keep seeing incidents of them aggressively pursuing citizens? Homan, the criminal Tom Homan that takes bags of cash. I can't tell you how many times an illegal alien claims to be a U.S. citizen. It happens all the time. So that's Tom's justification for violating all of your rights as a citizen. And, you know, smashing your window out. And I'm sure Homeland Security, DHS, I'm sure they pay for that right quick, right? When they ruin your car. Because you were scared and didn't want to just get out so a bunch of masked men can throw you in a van for $1,000 a piece. That's the justification for the violation of an American citizen's rights. No due process, just ripped out of your car, your window smashed. That's not a justification at all. That's a fat, miserable criminal whose own family can't stand him. Trying to justify the kidnapping of people at gunpoint. U.S. citizens. Amazing how far we've fallen so fast, huh? You rubes are amazing. Your criminal heroes like Tom Homan and Donnie Shitbags are amazing. You're all God's special little creatures. And here's the comment by Tom I really wanted you to hear. Are you comfortable having the U.S. target a boat in which you have not seen evidence that it's actually heading to the United States? I'm not just comfortable with it, I want to continue it. Okay, Tom, you want to continue the mass murder. I guess that's why you got the job as the mass murder apologist on all the weekend shows. Again, take a look at this man. You'll be seeing him at the lake. I wonder if God will ask him about this specific comment right here, because the man wrote it down. Again, I told you the man's making a list. A much more dangerous list than Pam Bondi's list. Pam's on the man's list too. Again, much more dangerous list than the ones Pam's making for the Reich, so they can arrest and kill us later. Pam, you're on the bad list. I'd be thinking about that. Mr. Cotton, you're on the bad list. The one the man's making. Why, Mr. Cotton? Why do you ask? I'm not just comfortable with it, I want to continue it. And I'll take the job, Donnie Shitbags. I'll take the job, Senate Majority Leader. I'll be the mass murder apologist. I'll tell the world how great it is. And I'll put my personal name on it. And say, I'm not just comfortable with it, I want to continue it. Mass murder, son. I would not want to be Mr. Cotton standing in front of the man when he brings that little statement up. It's probably not going to go well. And this is Donnie's thesis again. We're not going to read it again. I'm just making a point. Jesus Christ, look how long that is. I was getting angry reading it. It was so long and ridiculous. Based on what he says here, the pardon for bribery was itself a bribe. Yep. Brilliant way to put it. He's telling us. I made a deal with this guy. It was a bribe. He was going to help me out politically. He was going to switch parties and do my bidding down in Texas. He reneged. That's all Donnie said. Based on what he says here, the pardon for bribery was itself a bribe. Yeah, only way to put it, only way to look at it. That's simple. Donnie can't help himself. I was like, oh my God, when I saw this. It's parody, of course, and the award goes to... Holy shit. Reality. Enigmas never age. Right, Rubes? Don Jr. made a joke about Tim Waltz and Franklin the Turtle, and the word retarded was used. So I tried, I went to AI and I was trying to make a picture of Don Jr. and Franklin the Turtle doing cocaine together. Because that's what Franklin would be doing if he went to Don Jr.'s house. Because that's all Don Jr. does. So I tried a million different ways with AI. They would not do a rendering of Don Jr. It always came out Don Sr. I tried to do it with Eric, even though that doesn't even fit the joke. Wouldn't do Eric. It would only do Donnie. And this is as close as I could get to it. So that's Donnie and the turtle doing coke. And hey, Donnie was a cokehead most of his life. That's the best the AI could do. And this one. I did about 5, but I picked 2. My 2 favorite. Jeff Foxworthy has a new act. Check him out. I'll read it to you. If it takes 1,000 FBI agents to redact your name from the Epstein files, you might be a pedophile. Yeah. In fact, it guarantees you're a pedophile, actually. Otherwise, 1,000 agents would be necessary. What's fucked up is they got the 1,000 agents to redact it, and they still haven't shown it to you. I mean, he's such a pedophile. One more time, if it takes 1,000 FBI agents to redact your name from the Epstein files, you just might be a pedophile. And if you voted for it, you just might have voted for a pedophile. After yelling about Pizzagate and liberals for 20 years. The irony. Oh my God, Palantir. Alex Karp, I believe is his name. Dr. Karp, they call him. Yeah, sure. Alex Karp all gacked the fuck up on coke to the point he couldn't even sit down in a chair. They trying to spin it, son. You ready? And the fact that they even address this tells me all I need to know. The video itself tells me all I need to know. Guy was gacked the fuck up. But I got to make a point about this. I gave you the details yesterday. So this is Palantir trying to clean up the spill on aisle 6. While cross-country skiing this morning... Yeah, Alex looks like he's in great shape. I'm sure that's what he was doing. I'm sure he wasn't speedballing or nothing. Listening to the Grateful Dead. Jesus Christ. While cross-country skiing this morning, Dr. Karp decided to launch a new program. The Neurodivergent Fellowship. Neurodivergent, you say? Like divergent from fucking sanity? Cunts! If you find yourself relating to him in this video, the gacked up video, unable to sit still or thinking faster than you can speak, we encourage you to apply. Now I'm going to translate for you. If you're a cokehead who's gotten at least $1 billion in welfare from the federal government, we encourage you to apply. This myth that these people, the successful ones, all the welfare queens, their minds are working so fast and they're geniuses and they're just different than us. No, they're gay cokeheads. That's it. They ain't special. They ain't geniuses. They're nothing. Zuckerberg stole the idea for fucking Facebook. Straight stole it. They made a movie about it, son. There were lawsuits. He had to pay people off he stole the idea from. He's not a genius. His mind doesn't work differently than ours. He's a fucking thief who should have had to pay a lot more for the idea he stole, since it turned out to be worth trillions, especially once the goddamn Russian money started pouring in. Right, Zuck? You cunt? Every one of them. Nothing but some fucked up drug addict. Zuck, maybe he's the exception with the drugs. I don't know. I don't see him doing shit like this. He's still a dickhead thief. And he censored me, the fuck out of me. So no, Mr. Karp isn't a genius whose mind works differently, and that's why he's got the billions in the bank. No, that was your welfare that did that. That's the only reason. These people would be nothing without the billions in welfare you've handed them. They're the greatest welfare queens that ever walked the face of this fucking planet. And he's a goddamn cokehead. And Palantir trying to clean it up as if he's coming up with genius ideas, and if you're like him. What, you mean a coke addict who's a welfare queen? Leon's one, Thales one. I'm sure a bunch of the rest of you are. Unbelievable. We encourage you to apply. Thinking faster than you can speak. Because of cocaine, you mean? I would have more respect for you people if Dr. Karp, the cokehead, would just say, yeah, you know what, I partied a little bit that day, got a little out of hand. I'd actually have a shred of respect for you. Even though you're just a fucking filthy welfare queen. All you've ever been. Instead of this bullshit, ain't a one of you geniuses. We gonna see who the geniuses is at the lake, son. Promise. Mark it on your calendar. Do all the coke you can now, son. There won't be none at the lake. Only place you going. Oh, he bought that coke with your money, too. The welfare you gave. Because Palantir don't make no profits. It's just a subjugation tool. It's just a loop. Money goes out in the form of welfare to these nefarious assholes. Then they give millions of it back in political donations. It's an endless loop with the right-wing grift machine. Especially the modern incarnation straight Nazi Donnie regime. Endless loop. So that 200, 300 million that Leon gave to Donnie to finance all this, to get him in there, that was your money, dumbass. Welfare. That's all. Endless loop. Thale financed a lot of the first run. He got welfare money too. It's in fact the only customer at one point for Palantir was the CIA. So welfare, that's a welfare business. It's always been and it still is. Endless loop. Your money. Financing it all. Your own subjugation. The end of your country. Marge Green doing the rehab tour, and I ain't buying a goddamn shred of it, son. I know exactly what Margie is. A white supremacist female version of Donnie, and she turned on Donnie like the snake she is, as he turned on her like the snake he is. And Marge employed all these tactics. She was integral into making MAGA the threat intimidation machine it is. And now that machine has turned on Margie. And just like I told you, class, right at the beginning of this, back in January, all these cunts that get fucked over, all the rubes, all the members of the Reich, they're gonna come cry on our shoulder. That's what Margie's doing every day, all day, now that she and Donnie are on the outs. I have no sympathy for you, Margie. I'm sorry. You used all these tactics. It's how you got in office. Your people threatened, intimidated, stalked your opponent, and they dropped out. You didn't know I knew that about you, Margie. But I do. Now she crying on our shoulder. That her tactics to the cult, MAGA death cult, that she was integral in building. And she loved using the tactics all day. Now being turned on her. Let's read, shall we? Question, are you MAGA? I'm America first. MAGA is President Trump's phrase. I call myself America first. Since when, Margie? Since Donnie told you to fuck off? Now you're not MAGA no more? Can you believe you're hearing Margie Sporkfoot say out loud, she's not MAGA? I never thought I'd hear that, son. That's what tells me that Margie was never anything more than an opportunist, right-wing nationalist, white supremacist, just like Donnie. Doesn't believe in actual anything except power and persecution. Just like Donnie. You're not saying you're MAGA? I'm America first. Now that Donnie gave you the foot up the ass like he did with Leon, now you're not MAGA no more. These people amaze me. You rubes amaze me. The greedy at the top amaze me. Margie again. This is 60 minutes, I believe. I don't have every clip. I have a few. The ones that matter. After Trump called me a traitor, I got a pipe bomb threat on my house. And then I got several death threats on my son. The subject line for the death threats on my son was Trump's words, Marjorie Traitor Green. Those are death threats directly fueled by Trump. Well, I've heard a lot of people complain about death threats over the years, and Margie would make fun of those people. Margie was part of that machine. Margie was integral in building it. Now we're supposed to have sympathy for her because she wants to take a different political direction now that the cult leader told her to fuck the fuck off. Again, you people amaze me. I don't hear the sincerity again. I haven't shown you any of those clips for a while. You know why? Because they don't make them anymore. It's too shameful. It's too embarrassing for these people. The clips of the MAGA people who said, I can't be MAGA anymore. It's come to my doorstep. I didn't mind it coming to other people's, because I hated those people too, just like Donnie. But now it's come to mine. So now I'm not MAGA anymore. We never hear sincerity in any of those videos, in any of that testimony. Rarely ever is it really sincere. I've seen maybe 2. What we hear more is, I was fine with Donnie hurting other people, but now he's hurting me, and I don't like it. That's not sincere. That's not a conversion, son. You still going to the lake. Your conversion must be sincere. It can't just be because it came to your doorstep and you're just sad about you. That's Margie Green. And again, back in January and before, when I told you all these people will be crying on our shoulder. Margie Green is the most perfect example. Look at her again. Top MAGA howler monkey. Now she turned into us. Now that she on the outs with the cult leader. Personifying the very thing I've been saying, that only when it comes to your door do you people ever give a half-hearted kinda, I'm not down with it anymore. You don't say I'm sorry. You don't say I'm sorry for the damage I did and he did. You just cry on our shoulder. It's a shame. If you actually cared about humanity and your fellow citizen and this country, your actions would have been otherwise. And it wouldn't have had to get to the point where our country's over and you, the Rube cultist, is crying on our shoulder only because it came to your door. Like I always say, that's why your country's over, son. You. And the Margie Green attitude. I'm fine with the violence and intimidation and threats and power grabs and weaponizations until it comes at me. Then I put my hand out and ask for your help, the very people I fucking persecuted. Unbelievable, you people, this person. The nerve you have. Is that the end? Are we fucking at the end? That's the end. And I wanted to end with Margie again because I've brought this subject up so many times. I've shown you the videos. I've read you the various comments of straight up rubes that were all about this, like Margie. Then they lost their business, or the tariffs killed them, or they lost their farm as a direct result of their vote. Or Leon loses the co-chancellorship even after he hands $300 million of your welfare right back to Donnie. Margie loses her seat. She'll try and run as some more moderate type candidate because, you know, she never believed in jack shit. Margie is the personification of all of you. What more MAGA, or what is more MAGA than Margie fucking Sporkfoot? She breathed the white nationalist, racist, Nazi thing. And she was hoping to be in the Senate. And Donnie told her, I'm sorry. We're not going to go that route, honey. Fuck off. Margie is the personification of all of you out there. And you know who you are. You know who I'm talking to. Of only when it comes to my doorstep. I was fine preaching and doing the evil and voting for the evil and cheering it on. But then it came to my doorstep. Can you help me? You who I've persecuted, lied about, threatened, intimidated, betrayed. That's the MAGA Rube. That's Margie. And in closing, as always, don't take the mark. Hit the PayPal, please, if you'd like to help. It does help. Have a wonderful evening.